The story begins with an apocalypse happening on Earth. The humans must leave the planet, but something mysterious prevents them from traveling into space. After some time, they return only to find that Japan is the only safe place on Earth. The humans now want to find a new way of life, so they decide to follow the Holy Book Testament. Nothing ever good happens when humans follow strange books and their teachings. Some time passes, and in 1413, several nations decide to conquer Japan. The people who lived in Japan now have to run away to survive. In the year 1648, the refugees that managed to escape from Japan now live in a ship called Musashi. It's basically a giant floating city. We are then introduced to the students of Musashi Airdust Academy. They live in the east parts of the giant floating city, and they are a pretty strange group of people. The teachers at that academy have a very interesting way of teaching their students. A perfect example is Makiko Oriotorai. She challenges all of her students to try and hit her. She has to travel all the way across town, and the students must land a hit on her. All the students get really hype and try all sorts of crazy methods, but they all fail. Their teacher is just that good. After the race is over, the class president Tori Aoi arrives with some news. He is a very perverted individual and often gets into trouble with the girls. He announces to the entire class that he will propose to his childhood friend called Horizon Airdust. When hearing this, all the students get really confused as she died almost 10 years ago. Tori is so perverse in nature that he actually gropes Makiko, which sends her into a rage, and she just drop kicks him so hard he flies like a bird. While that is happening, we are introduced to Masazumi Honda. She is a new student who will be soon joining the academy. In the meantime, back at the Musashi Airdust Academy, the students learn more about the history of the Far East. Makiko wants Suzu to tell the students about this part of the lesson. Suzu is a blind girl and she is very scared. Suzu stands up and begins the lesson to her other students. She explains that there are divine states and harmonic divine states which exist in different realities. This means that different people lived in these realities. They lived like that for quite some time in peace. If any of this sounds confusing, don't worry, I think the anime writers were also confused. Suzu continues her lesson, and in the meantime, a man in a very weird dress and a girl enter the school. The girl's name is Azuma, and she seems to be the Emperor's child. We continue our journey with Masazumi Honda, who is making her way to the gravesite where her mother is buried. She has a very complicated history and carries a lot of trauma on her shoulders. Masazumi goes to visit her mother's grave, and there she meets a strange android. This android is named P01S. Masazumi is at first a bit scared of the android, but soon they become friendly. She decides to tell the android her life story, how it was difficult for her family while she was growing up, and how she even wanted to turn herself into a boy to keep the family name. Those plans all got ruined, so now she is searching for her purpose. The Musashi soon docks at a city known as Mikawa. While that is happening, Tori is still talking about how he will confess his feelings to Horizon. All the students, and I think us the viewers, are already bored with his antics. Soon enough, Tori totally loses his mind and announces that he will grab Horizon's breasts when they meet. Really smooth, my guy. I'm sure that will end great. Tori wants to organize a giant party. God help us all. Many of the academy students decide to help him with all the organization. Masazumi finally arrives at the academy and gets into her room. She soon finds out that her new roommate is Miriam Poku. She is a disabled student. We are also introduced to Kimi Aoi. She is the sister of Tori and is really worried about him. She realizes that Tori still has some trauma because of Horizon's death, and she sees that her brother is actually scared. Soon after that, Margot Naito talks to Malga Naruse, and they give Masazumi a special package. In this package, there is a video game, and it has to get delivered to Tori. Far in the woods, Masazumi talks with her father and finds out more about what happened to Horizon. It seems that her death was very tragic, and it had a massive impact on Tori for the last 10 years. The guy has massive trauma, still a creep though. Soon after, two ships approach the Musashi. One of the ships is called the KPA Italia and the other is Tres España. These ships are part of the Harmonic Divine States, a very mysterious organization, and it's still not clear if they are friend or foe. The students decide that they must defeat all the ghosts that are in a specific area. Okay, now there are ghosts in this story? What's next? Alien vampires? Hope so. The students split into two groups. One group was Suzu, Tomo, Naomasa, and Adele. They go into the dark hallways of their school. Naomasa and Tomo are kinda badass, so they are not scared, but Suzu and Adele are shitting their pants because they have no idea what is in the darkness. Tomo decides to be cool, so she fires off her arrows at a lot of stuff. They make their way to the library, and there Tomo and her group get scared by drawings on bags. Tomo unleashes all of her attacks. Shirojiro leads the other group, and they hear an explosion where Tori is. Malga and Margot fight a lot of ghosts. Soon enough, the entire school becomes a scene from Call of Duty, just with magic. They manage to defeat the ghosts. Nobody dies, but the school looks like a war zone. They have a lot of cleaning up to do now. Futayo Honda is the colonel of the Mikawa Guard. She meets with Tadatsugu Sakai, the Musashi Air-Test Academy president. Futayo gets a personal invitation from the academy president to join the school. One day, the students are all asked to sleep at the academy overnight. Imagine having to stay at your high school during nighttime. Now that's a nightmare. Sakai realized that Yasumasa Sakaibara was found dead in his home. Okay, now things get crazy. All the people in the town get evacuated and Tadakatsu Honda. Lord Motonobu starts to prepare everything to destroy the city called Mikawa. This city has a cool code name, which is Genesis Project. Soon after that, Tres España decided to attack them, but they had to face off against Kazuno. Kazuno is Tadakatsu's maid, who is also a badass android. This will not be an easy fight. Futayo is still torn as Musashi is in danger, and this is all part of the plan of the Testament Union. At the end, Futayo decides to not get involved. A lot of things happen in a short time. Muneshige and Gane hurry towards Mikawa to help. Masazumi and P-01 go to Blue Thunder while Tadakatsu prepares to fight off the attacking forces with all his might. Tres España sends Muneshige Tachibana and he fights Tadakatsu. Muneshige has got something called Mortal Sin Armament, and it's very dangerous in battle. In a shocking turn of events, Monotobu reveals that Horizon actually survived. Well, her soul did. Monotobu put Horizon's soul into an android, and the android is actually P-01S. This droid has the deadly sin armament called Olos Pathonos. This special device contains the feeling of envy. Muneshige is stabbed in the chest by Tadakatsu, and the city of Mikawa gets blown up. Like there is not a building left standing. At the end, Tadakatsu and Monotobu are also killed in the explosion. The forces of KPA Italia board the Musashi and kidnap P-01S, who is actually Horizon. Muneshige is somehow saved from the blast and his chest getting stabbed. Okay, dude is Superman, we get it. Jin Tachibana is sent to retrieve his body and Muneshige is brought to the hospital where he gets treatment. KPA Italia is actually part of the Testament Union and the president is Pope Innocentius. He is a very weird guy, and that is saying something in this world. He declares that Horizon is a traitor and a danger to everyone. She must be killed because she had the Mortal Sin armament. Also, the Pope blames Horizon for Mikawa getting destroyed. Okay, this dude is now just making up accusations. The remaining students all meet up and they talk with Heidi Augsvarer. They talk about what their next move should be. They all kind of decide that they must join the alliance of Masazumi. Jin and Muneshige give Futayo the slicing dragonfly, the blade of Tadakatsu, as proof that he died. Well, thanks for the good news. Meanwhile, Tomo Asama reads an essay that Suzu wrote. She wrote about how on the first day of the academy, Horizon and Tori helped her up the stairs because she was blind. She remembers both of them as sweet and caring people. Tori hears this story and decides to find a way to save Horizon. The students all agree that they should save Horizon, but they are soon confronted by Masazumi, who does not like the idea. She is also joined by Nate and Naomasa, who are her classmates. The students agree to solve this dispute by a 3-on-3 match. The first match, Naomasa gets defeated by Shirojiro Bertoni, who is the council accountant. Imagine getting your ass kicked by an accountant. He actually beats her God of War power with his money-related powers. Dude sent her a bill and defeated her. In the second match, Mitotsudaira fights against Suzu. They are both friends, so their fight is pretty chill. Suzu loses when she trips and falls into Mitotsudaira's arms. The final match is a debate with Tori and Masazumi. They are both really good at debating, but Tori manages to find a way to outsmart Masazumi and put the entire debate into a stalemate. The debate between Tori and Masazumi cannot continue as he totally outsmarted her. Tori and all of his friends finally try to convince Masazumi to join up with them so they can all save Horizon. This is their chance to also get independence from the Harmonic States. Pope Innocentius is bored with the entire situation and he tells Masazumi that they have to reach a peaceful deal. Masazumi then decides to gather all the financial reports and release a shrine protest that is an informal evaluation of the whole situation. The Pope, being the villain that he is, put Masazumi into a situation where she either must admit defeat or start a war. Tori gives his support to Masazumi. She then declares that they are independent. Innocentius then orders Galileo, his helper, to just attack the students. Futayo joins the fight and helps the students. Suddenly, the king of Musashi arrives. His name is Yoshinao, and he is a badass. He orders the dumb Pope to stop getting involved. Pope gets a bit scared and orders Galileo to stop his attack. The debate between Masazumi and Tori is decided to be a draw, and they plan another match between Futayo and Kimi. This match will decide if they go save Horizon. Kimi has a really interesting power. She has the power of erotic dancing. Since Futayo is only human, this attack is really powerful. While that is happening, Tomo reveals that Horizon died a decade ago and Kimi had to save Tori from a real bad depression. She actually beat him up until he cried all his tears. Okay, that is a really extreme method. I do not want Kimi helping me. She would probably heal my fever by throwing me into a lake. Kimi then slaps Futayo because he does not understand how important it is to save Horizon. Kimi wins the debate and Yoshinao promises that Tori and Horizon will become viceroys. Innocentius is not done with his evil plans and he wants to take out Moral Sin armaments out of Horizon after he kills her. The students finally go after Horizon to save her and bring her home. The people of Musashi start to plan their attack and Toussaint Nishimbara is put in charge of the entire battle plan. They have a really big challenge ahead of them. They have to fight the combined forces of KPA Italia and Tres España. Adele Balfet uses a special shield to help the Musashi get closer to their target and protects them. Finally, Tomo fires his bow and arrow and takes out one of the Tres España ships. Malga and Margot then use their witch powers to take out the flying god of war. Margot is doing really great in battle, but she soon gets blasted really hard. She manages to get back up and destroys the flying god of war. The battle is now fully on its way and things will get wild. The battle takes a while and soon the Musashi warriors all get surrounded by the KPA Italia soldiers. At the last second, Mitotsudaida and Naomasa join the battle and help Musashi. Innocentius activates Pornea. This creates a wave that disables all weapons from the Musashi forces. Tori then finally gets a brilliant idea and helps Tomo use parts of Musashi's energy supply. With that, they are able to power up their companions and soldiers and start a massive counterattack. Finally, Masazumi challenges Innocentius to a duel. During their duel, Innocentius realizes that Masazumi is a diversion. He orders his soldiers to attack once more. Noriki fights Galileo, and while his powers are great, Noriki is a badass. Noriki has ultra-strong punches and Galileo does not stand a chance. Futayo fights Muneshige in the forest and she actually gets defeated by his speed. Muneshige gets a chance to end the entire battle and take down Musashi with a single shot. Futayo does not give up and continues to fight. She manages to finally defeat Muneshige and saves Musashi. The Tres España soldiers decide to fall back and run. Tori finally finds Horizon and while she is happy to see him, she does not want him to risk the Far East future for her. Tori does not care about any of that and just wants her back. Tori also confesses his love to Horizon, but she acts all cold and starts talking about judgment and emotions. Okay girl, just get with him. Don't ruin the romance. Tori manages to convince Horizon that she is still human and the two enter a memory of her death when she was a child. They manage to leave the memory and the barrier together, holding hands. Mitotsudaida launches Nenji from the ship and transforms into a giant hand that grabs both Horizon and Tori, bringing them onto the ship. The Pope is still not done and decides to use a warship attack as his last chance. Horizon and Tori take over the live catathlips and use its full power to scare away the Pope and his forces. It is time for celebration as the battle is over. Horizon becomes an official student at the Air Dust Academy, and she also regains all of her emotions. The students celebrate their victory the entire night. The following morning, the Tres España try to attack once again, but the students kick their asses. And that's it, folks. We have now reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed this recap, please subscribe to the channel and leave the thumbs up. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more recaps just like this one, and let us know which anime you want to see next in the comments below. Anime Caps here. See you in the next one.